Welcome back, children. In the previous videos you learned about the collection of data and different methods of collecting the data. Now you all know that collection of data is a very important task of a research worker. After collecting the data, to move on to the next level, to make his work easier, he has to organize the collected data. So now we are going to learn the next chapter, chapter 3 of statistics for economics, that is organization of data. So like collection of data, organization of data is also very important, because without organizing the data, the work becomes very hectic. So to move on to the next level, organization of data is very, very important. Now let us move on to the details of organization of data. I have written the definition of organization here, but before moving on to the definition of organization, let me give some examples to make the concept of organization clear to you. Now you all know the junk collector who is coming to your house to collect the junks. Now what all things will be there with him? Just recollect. There will be newspapers, bottles of both the categories made up of plastics and glass, then metal pieces, notebooks which he has collected from each and every house, isn't it? Now after collecting the junk materials from each and every house, this junk collector will be moving on, or will be giving all these materials to a wholesale junk collector, right? So when he gives that to a wholesale junk collector, he has to separate it, he has to categorize it, because only on the basis of that he will be getting the money, because for each and every material the wholesale junk collector will be giving different prices. So an individual junk collector has to organize his things in such a manner that notebooks will be kept in one sack. There will be different sacks with him, right? Then metal pieces will be collected and kept in one sack. Then papers, newspapers will be kept in another sack. Then bottles, which is made up of plastics and glass, will be collected in two different sacks, isn't it? So this is to make his work easier. He has organized his junk materials. Otherwise, when he sell all these things to a wholesale junk collector, it will be very difficult, because when he sell all these things to a wholesale junk collector, the weight, it has to be weighed, then only the amount will be given to the individual junk collector, right? So we can see how a junk collector is organizing his materials. Second example which I can give you is the teacher who is handling the subject, a particular subject in different classes, say for economics or English, whatever it is. Let us take the example of class 11. Now if there are 4 divisions in class 11 like A, B, C and D, and after conducting an exam, the children will be scoring different marks. Okay, now how the teacher is making an assessment of the students who has secured different marks. Say for students in class 11A, how many students in class 11A has secured? If the teacher has given the test paper out of 50 marks, she will be she will have to categorize the children according to their performance, right? So after conducting the test paper, she will be eagerly waiting to know how many marks are secured by the students accordingly. Now so according to that, she will be categorizing the students. The students who got between marks 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 0 to 10, 30 to 40 and 40 to 50. So if she is doing that job, it will be easy for her to identify the students who have secured less than 20% and to give and to help out those children accordingly. But if the marks are spread, she will not be able to know how many students got less than 20 or how many students got less than 10. Right? Therefore, so for the proper analysis, she will be organizing the data in such a way that she will be able to know how many students have secured below these many percentages. So, when she arranges the marks accordingly for all the 4 divisions, she will be able to know altogether how many students have performed less than 10%, less than 20% accordingly. So, this is how we move on with organization of data. Now, the next example which I can give you is the way which you arrange your bag according to the timetable. Now, you will not be taking all the books every day to the school. You will be arranging the bag according to your timetable. Now, definitely you will arrange the books according to first period, second period, third period, etc. So, that kind of arrangement is also known as organization, the way you organize or arrange your data. It is very important because otherwise it will be very difficult for you to manage the things, right? So, I have given 3 examples here. So, I hope from these 3 examples the concept of organization is clear to you. Now, we will move on to the definition of organization. Classification or organization. So, classification or organization. It can also be termed as organization. Either classification or organization. Organization or classification means arranging or organizing the things into groups or classes based on some criteria. Based on some criteria, we are arranging the things, that is known as organization or classification. Best example, a teacher who is trying to arrange or classify the data on the basis of the students who got less than 10%, less than 20%, that is known as a criteria. So, what is a criteria here? Number of students who have secured less than 10 marks out of 50 marks. Number of students who have secured less than 20 marks out of 50 marks, that is a criteria. So, based on one criteria, how we arrange or organize the things into groups or classes is known as organization of data or classification of data. So, I hope it is clear to you the concept of organization of data. Now, what are the advantages of organizing the data? So, from the 3 examples which I have given you, I hope you can make out what are the advantages of organizing or classifying the data. The first advantage is it helps to save the valuable time, definitely. Take the example of the junk collector. Okay, now if after collecting the whole thing from different houses, before he sell the junks to the wholesale dealer, what he does, he will arrange the things accordingly in different sack. Therefore, it is easy for him to sell it to the wholesale junk collector. He can take the sack of the newspaper and hand over it to the wholesale junk collector, so that he will wait and give the money. So, at the time, if he is going to arrange the things, the time will be consumed. So, in such a situation, it is not easy to handle the things properly. So, the organization of data, the main advantages of organizing something is it helps to save our valuable time. Next is it will simplify and condense the mass data. Mass data means what? Teacher who is handling English in all the classes, class 11A, B, C and D. To know how many students altogether, how many students have secured marks between 40 and 50. Already the data is with her. All the classes 11A, 11B, 11C and 11D. 4 divisions are there, and she wants to know how many students have secured marks between 40 and 50. If she has arranged the data or organized the data, it is very easy for her to verify how many students have secured marks between 40 to 50. So, it has condensed that mass data. In each and every class, if there are 20 students in 11A, B, C and D altogether, 4 divisions, and there are 80 students. Out of 80 students, how many students have secured marks between 40 and 50? If she has not arranged the data, it is very difficult for her to say how many students have secured marks between 40 and 50. But if she has arranged the data accordingly, she can say from all together, from all the divisions, almost 30 students have secured marks between 40 and 50. So, thus she has condensed the mass data into a simple form. Okay. Now, it helps to draw meaningful conclusion, right? Teacher is able to draw meaningful conclusion. How many students have secured less than 10 marks? How many students have secured less than 20? So, on the basis of that, she can take the appropriate measures. If number of students who have secured less than 10 marks is more, she can take the remedial measures for that. So, it helps a teacher to arrive at a meaningful conclusion. So, I have used the example of a teacher because I have narrated the example of a teacher. So, here the example comes for a research worker. Now, it saves time, definitely. It saves our valuable time. I have written it as the first point. It saves time. Next, it facilitates comparison. If a teacher wants to compare, for example, which division has secured more, in which division the number of students who has secured the marks between 40 and 50 is more, to know that she can just verify the organized data. If the number of students who have secured marks between 40 and 50 is more from 11A, she can draw a conclusion that 11A there are more students who are good performers in English. Okay, so based on that she can compare the classes and take remedial measures. It helps to study the relationship between different variables. If a child is not performing well for one particular subject, the teacher can try to understand why that child is by comparing the marks between two different subjects. She can just compare what is happening to that particular child. It helps to study the relationship. That is what I said. It helps to study the relationship. If a child is scoring less marks in one particular subject, she can just compare the marks that the child has secured for other subjects by collecting the marks from other teachers. If that teacher also has done or organized the data in the same manner, this particular teacher in English will be able to study the relationship between the marks of English and the other subject, and it helps a teacher to draw a conclusion what is the difference between the score of that particular child between the two subjects, and what will be the reason for less score in English or the other subject. So, it helps to study about the relationship. So, organization or classification of data helps to save the valuable time. It simplifies and contains the data, it draws meaningful conclusion, it saves time, facilitates comparison, it helps to study the relationship. This is the advantage of organizing the data. Now we will see the difference between raw data and an organized data. Till now we saw different examples of raw data and how a junk collector is trying to organize the things. Theoretically we have seen. Now we will apply this in the form of numbers, raw data and an organized data. Now this is a numerical example. Till now we saw the theoretical examples. Now we will move on to the numerical example. Okay. I have written a raw data here in such a way that we can assume these are the marks of students in economics. Okay. Now, I have given the numbers as 30, 20, 50, 60, 70, 35, 80, 32, 15, 16, 25 and 20. These are the marks secured by the students in economics. Now, this is just a raw data. There is no order or nothing else. Now, what I have tried to do here is, I have arranged this data in a different way. I have organized this data. This is the organized data. Okay. How I have organized this data? I have arranged in such a way that it is written in ascending order, isn't it? Which is the minimum mark here. 15 is the minimum mark. From that I have arranged the data in an ascending order. So let us read out the marks as 15, 16, 20 has come 2 times. 25, 30, 32, 35, 50, 60, 70 and 80. Now you can see the raw data is arranged in an organized manner. So numerically I have explained how a raw data is arranged in an organized manner. So this one I have arranged in ascending order. It is not compulsory that you have to arrange in ascending order. If you want to arrange in a descending order, you can do the same. Okay. So with this you have a clear-cut idea regarding the marks. Now if somebody is asking how many students have secured marks between 15 and 30, you can say 6 students have secured marks between 15 and 30. How? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15 and 30. See? Likewise, how many students have secured marks between 32 and 80? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See? 32 and 80. 6 students have secured the marks between 32 and 80. Now the data is simplified. So from the raw data, it is very difficult for you to say how many students have secured marks between 15 and 30, 32 and 80. You may be able to say with this example because this data is a very small data, but if the data is too large, it will be difficult for you to say how many students have secured marks between 15 and 30, 32 and 80. So to make your data in a simplified manner, organization plays a very important role, because a research worker, in order to move his work faster, organization of data is very, very important. So with a numerical example, we have learned how to organize a raw data. How can we convert a raw data into an organized data? So I hope it is clear to you, the introductory part of organization with the examples, what are the benefits of organization and how we can convert a raw data into an organized data. Thank you.